Good.
Yeah.
Man, how you feeling, Mitch?
All right, how you doing?
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know or as you know, but the Dirty Nation,
Yeah.
we're pure stoners here.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, we're pure stoners here. Like there's not a live that goes past. If there's not no marijuana burning alive, it's not a normal live.
Well, let's see.
That's what I'm talking about. The peace pipe.
The wax.
Oh, that's when you pulled that. That's when you showed me that you was in a bigger league than me. It was at that moment.
No, that's just Homeboy sent me that from Dago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then guys send me weird shit, like
That ain't weird. That's normal.
yeah,
We
I'm
got
fucking lightweight though. I take a couple tokes and I'm done.
man. So
But
we
I
got
gotta
we got this thing on the Dirty Nation called Scratch It Vision, Smell It Vision.
yeah.
So let me see the jar. Let me see the jar. Let me see. You gotta take the top off. It's like scratch and sniff going on here. Oh yeah. Got good aroma. Good aroma.
Yeah.
All right, so how long you been in the YouTube game? Actually, let me let you get your medication first before I start getting down to the questions. I got some
Are
pretty
we
good.
live?
Oh yeah, we definitely are, and it's definitely 14 people watching too, and it's getting higher.
I've been on YouTube for I started January of last year, so it's been a little over a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your motivation?
Well, like I got a t-shirt company and I sell art and I got a website and I reached out to, I don't know if you're hip to Jesse James. He's a metal fabricator, motorcycle builder.
Jesse James.
He had
Yeah,
West Coast Choppers,
yeah,
Monster Garage.
yeah. The YouTube. I mean, he was on cable.
Yeah, he's big shot, big time.
Yeah.
Anyway, I reached out to him on Instagram. I'm like, hey, I got this. I did 38 years in prison. He's a biker, so I'm like, I sell T-shirts, this and that, and I asked him if he ever does collaborations, if he needed any artwork, and a few other things. I forgot all about it, and like 5 days later, man, my phone started blowing up with orders, because every time I get an order, my phone, I get a text, and then my old lady looked, and I go, hey, I sold a T-shirt to Jesse James, and then on his Instagram, he reposted my message with a big message of his own, and put my website out there, and I just blew me away. We sold out of a lot of shirts that night within a week.
That's so what's up.
One of the guys that saw his message told me I should interview with Death, 23-1.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then people are like, hey, get your own channel,
Yeah, Josh is pretty cool, man. Josh is a pretty cool cat.
Yeah, he is. He's the real deal. He's different. He lives out, Virginia, East Coast area, but he's a pretty cool dude.
Hey, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna do something that I've never done in the history of the Dirty Nation, and I'm gonna say I created it. We call this party fouls, right? Party fouls. I forgot my lighter. So what I'm gonna do is stick my hand out here and let you knock on it one time. Like, don't do that again. Go ahead one time. Oh man, damn, why I do that? So now it's gonna take me about 60 seconds to go find a lighter or some matches. Because this is like epic, and you need to know that. I'll be right back.
Is it? All right.
That was my bad. See, everybody part of Dirt Nation, they know Dirt. They be like, damn it, Dirt, you always forgetting a lighter, or your phone is always running out of juice or something. So
yeah.
So I'm pretty sure you don't smoke backwoods, huh?
No, I don't smoke. No tobacco. Yeah, when I was I had to go to the hospital for some medical shit, and they knocked me out for it. And when I came to, I've got my phone. I'm looking at my phone, and there was a text on there from my parole officer with a screenshot of his computer. It said, Mitch Smiley's no longer on your caseload. He's discharged.
Well,
I showed her the message, and she goes, "Let's go get some weed," you know, because I didn't smoke weed when I was on parole. You know,
best advice ever.
yeah.
I learned quick.
I mean,
I learned quick. My partner pulled up on me the day I came home and passed me the blunt, and I grabbed the blunt like this, and I tucked it in my hand. So I was smoking. I was doing this. Tucking like we on the yard or something, looking around.
Yeah.
It was like, bro, this is California, man. Knock it off. You're free.
I had no weed on my parole though. One of my conditions, no smoking weed.
Damn, that sucks.
But you know, I went out and got some of that weed with the high CBD content, and man, that shit works. You know,
what
all
about
aches and pains that come with getting older went away.
That's what I worried about, like aches and pains. That shit really work?
Yeah. I'll be 60 in a couple months, you know, so.
I'm a skeptic. I'm a CBD skeptic. I'm going to just say it.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I tried gummies. I tried drops. The only way it really works is if you smoke it. So, for me, you know.
How do you tell the difference between like a high effect versus a CBD effect? Is it like smoking and you don't feel it, or what is?
Well, I got a cartridge and also got some weed. You know, and the CBD weed gives you a little buzz, but the two, they got different levels of CBD. Like I got a 2-to-1. It's 2 parts CBD, 1 part THC. It'll give you a little head change. Okay. And they got 18-to-1. So I mean, it depends on the level of CBD. Yeah,
18-to-1. So that would be like the opposite of like when you got weed that's like 33%, but like 2% CBD. So it's like that, but opposite.
Yeah. 18 parts CBD, 1 part THC.
So are you one of those? Are you an old school stoner?
Well, I've been smoking weed. I started smoking weed when I was like 12 or 13 years old. You know, but and then, you know, in the pen, we used to smoke weed all the time. You know, like I had a cellie from Oakland, Dirty Dennis, you know, rest in peace. At 5 o'clock count, 9 o'clock count, we'd take a couple of tokes off the pipe, you know, every night. So
that's all it took.
Watch baseball.
That's all it took to put you on your pockets.
You know, it was all good. Lay around, watch baseball, all that shit, you know.
I'm familiar with that. I'm familiar with that time very well. As soon as count time, they come walking by. You make sure they don't try to hit us for that sneak back, double back, like that instant. Fire it up.
Yeah, weed's cool. You know, it's nobody's out doing armed robberies to get a joint. You know.
That's one of the things I said, man. I look for something that connected the masses. That's something that transcends geographical lines, and that's marijuana, man. Marijuana.
Yeah. Whatever level people use it on is good, you know.
Yeah,
I think.
You don't hear about nobody smoking weed and going and robbing up no stores.
No. Yeah, it's all good, man.
So, how long did you do?
I did 38 years. 6 months and change. Yeah. I got busted when I was 17.
Hold on, I can't even breathe right now. Hold on, I'm trying to breathe. The oxygen that I need to breathe right now is in this blunt. Because you said 38 years.
Yeah.
Now look, let me tell y'all how this goes. Automatically, I don't care if you white, black, Mexican, Asian, whatever. If I bump into you on the yard and you tell me you did 38 years, even if I did 10, 15, whatever, I'm gonna be like, salute. I don't care what color, salute.
Yeah. I used to get a lot of that, you know. Towards the end of my term, I got a lot of that from a lot of all races, you know.
Hell yeah, because man, you survived through a time that I only heard about.
Yeah, it was crazy shit.
I only heard about that, and a lot of the time, a lot of
Yeah.
what year did you first go in?
1979.
God damn, you went in. Excuse me
Yeah,
for saying
yeah.
goddamn, but damn, he went in the year I was born. Shit.
Yeah, I was 17. I got in a bar fight. I had a couple crime partners. You know, I got found guilty of second degree murder by aiding and abetting by vicarious liability. So,
Fuck. Out of Dago.
yeah, out of San Diego. Yeah, Pete Wilson was the mayor, I think, at the time.
No, not
You
seven.
know,
Not seven. Wait, Pete was he served
I think
two terms.
I think he did. Yeah, he was in politics down there. I think he was the mayor. You know,
Damn.
yeah. And so, like where I grew up, man. I grew up around like bikers, cowboys, and we had an Indian reservation right on the edge of town, Lakeside, then Verona. It was kind of, they had rodeo out there. It was, so I met dudes that been to the pen like for second degree murder. They were doing 5 or 6 years. I always thought, well, if that's the worst case scenario. Well, 6 months before I got busted, they changed the law to they made second degree 15 to life, and they made first degree 25 to life. And so that was actually the beginning of the tough on crime shit that you experienced later on.
Yeah.
Duke Mason was the attorney general at the time that those laws came into effect. And then, of course, Duke Mason became the governor for 2 terms. And he
Man.
started building the prison system to the way it is now.
So did you feel Reagan's impact on crime when you was inside?
No, but actually, a lot of people think Ronald Reagan was a motherfucker, pardon my language. But, Ronald Reagan was like conservative, like physically with money. So he made statements like, hey, if we can't afford to keep these guys in prison, then we need to let them out. And with lifers, he said, we need to give lifers light at the end of the tunnel. And also, Ronald Reagan's the one that gave us family visits, believe it or not. Nancy Reagan said, that the family visits would help maintain family ties and all that stuff. So
I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm like people probably don't understand. But when 2 convicts come together that really experience the same shit,
yeah,
we could talk for days. Like, do you do you remember when they remember the unrest when they took the family visits and the weights?
Yeah, I do. But I was in Donovan when they took the family visits, and I was trying to stir the pot,
Yeah,
because they were taking family visits from lifers, and I was trying to organize like some stupid shit. And dudes are telling me, oh, you're crazy. It's not going to solve anything. Or they would say, I'm not a lifer. It doesn't affect me. I don't get family visits. Doesn't affect me. So I was telling them, look, man, if you let them take our family visits like this, they're going to take everything from us.
Yep.
And they did, they did.
I'm
They took your
surprised.
family from you, man,
And you had already been in the pen for hella long, normally getting family visits, and now all of a sudden they just take them.
Yeah.
What about the weights, though? What about the weights?
Well, the weights came after that. Actually, the weights came right before it. Then they came back, and then they took them after they took the family visits. They took the weights for good. But I came out to the yard. I came out the yard in Donovan, and these dudes are stacking all the weights on the fucking pallet so they could take them off on a forklift. I go, what the fuck you guys doing? You're giving them our weights. What the fuck's wrong with guys that I liked? I was like, man, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Because back, when I went to the pen, you get stabbed for that shit,
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you was a big mother lover.
When they took the weights, I had a 500-pound bench press.
Yeah,
most I ever did.
I could tell. So let's talk about what prisons you've been to.
Quentin, Tracy, Vacaville. I was in New Folsom for a short time. I was in Old Corcoran, Lancaster, Donovan, CMC. Yeah.
Damn, you name hella. The only prison we've been to the same is what year was you in VAC?
84 to 88.
Oh yeah, you was there
Yeah.
with Vacaville. Y'all had the boxing rings and shit.
Yeah. They had stuff. Yeah. They had the gym was open, hobby was open. They had a lot of lifer programs there. Like they had a they had a security housing decompression unit for guys been in the hole, and
Yeah.
they had a 90-day op, Cat X, and a 2-year Cat T program for lifers.
Yep. That used to be
Yeah.
That was reception back there, right?
Right. For Northern California, they had reception on the green side and mainline on the other side.
So that took Vacaville's place as reception, right? Or were they
Yeah,
both reception?
Vacaville. When Vacaville went to like a hospital, they started moving guys to Tracy for reception more and more, and San Quentin too. And then when they opened Susanville at level 3 up there, they started sending guys up there, depending on what part of Northern California you're from, you know.
Did you ever get sent to Susanville High Desert?
No, no. By the time they opened them pins, I was like in Corcoran or yeah.
So what's the time you did the bulk of your time at? What prison?
Tracy, Lancaster, Donovan.
Tracy,
Yeah.
what pen did you parole from?
I paroled from CMC, from the long-term offender program.
Did you meet Solo? A guy named Solo from Sacramento?
I don't know. I might have. You know, I'm bad with names. I'm good with faces.
And my folks is down there. So
Yeah.
CMC, you guys had your own keys, huh?
Yeah, on the East Yard, they got keys. What happened was I was in Soledad. You know, I was smuggling tobacco, you know, at San Quentin. It was a level 2. And so I got busted in 2011. So for about a year, I had the mentality like, hey, you know, I'm never getting out of prison. I don't give a fuck. You might know I'm an artist. So I was selling tobacco for the, you know, money on the street for the folks, whatever. And then I got, you know, enough art supplies to last me probably 10 years. And then I got busted. You know, I guys tell because they can't get a cigarette.
Man, you
I
know
went to
what?
Soledad. I got transferred to Soledad and I got Valley Fever.
What year was you in Soledad?
2011 to 13.
2011.
Yeah.
2010, I was in Calipat. 2011, I was in VAC.
Yeah.
2012, I went to Solano. And then 13, I paroled.
Yeah. So you know, with high risk medical shit, having Valley Fever made me high risk medical. So they shot me over to the CMC West.
Man, that Valley Fever ain't no joke. Like people
Yeah.
talking about, like people talk about Corona. Corona was knocking you down fast, but
Yeah.
but that Valley Fever, man, that shit to
It'll
get
kill
up
you.
in you and kill you so quick.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
got prisons that are built on top of old because it comes from they were built on landfills. So then the garbage and shit stews in the ground. Next to you know that shit fuse up toxins and shit. Next we breathe it in and we're done.
Yeah.
Pleasant
See,
Valley.
but Valley Fever is actually a fungus. Been in the soil for it's like a prehistoric fungus. Yeah.
Well, ain't they like spores?
Yeah, yeah. And when they start, you know, the Central Valley where all the prisons are, it's also farming areas. So when they dig the soil, it gets in the air, gets in your
Boom.
lungs, and you die.
And they
Yeah.
still send people to them prisons. That's crazy. And
Hey, you
what's
know
the
them?
other one? Corcoran too, right?
Yeah, Corcoran gets it. I got it at Soledad actually, so it's all over the state. But when they built Avenal, they did a study and they told them not to build that prison there because of Valley Fever. And they said, hey, man, people are going to get sick and die. You're going to have lawsuits. And the state said, we don't care. We'll fight the lawsuits.
Wow.
Just think all them guys died, you know, from Valley Fever at that prison and got sick. And I know guys that got one lung, they had to cut their lung out, you know, all kinds of, it's just, yeah, their blood's on their hands, man, as far as I'm concerned.
That's fucked up. And then
Yeah.
but the fact that they still send people there, like
Yeah.
that lets us know how would they have even been prepared for Corona?
Yeah. I know guys that were in the pen when that Corona hit. I used to talk to a dude once in a while. Yeah, they're living in dorms, man. 90-man dorms at CMC West Yard, and they got coronavirus, and they brought dudes in there from Chino with
They,
coronavirus.
it was there's a name for what they was doing, but I forget the name, but it involves like herding people together to get them infected on purpose so they can
That's a
get
herd
back
mentality, a herd
mentality.
immunity.
Yes, so they
Yeah,
can get
yeah,
back to regular program. Put them all together. They was putting them in tents and everything on the yard at Old
yeah.
Folsom. They put them on the yard and had them in that
Wow.
tent. Everybody
Just
got
think
sick.
about this. Them guys didn't get no visits until like right now. They're just now starting to let them get visits.
Ooh, it was so ugly in there on weed.
I mean, just imagine that, bro. You know, you can't even see your family. And you get regulated phone calls like once every 2 weeks if you're lucky.
I heard they started giving people free phone calls during COVID or something. You heard that?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So let's go back to what CDC took from us. You know what they took after they took the weights 2 years later? 2 years later, well, actually it was like 2.5, almost 3. Then they took the packages. Remember that?
Yep.
First packages from
I was
home.
around 2003 or 4 because I had just gone back to Donovan in 2003. So around 2004, they took the packages from home.
Let me see. I can go. Was in Salinas Valley? I got to the yard 2001. I got my last package from home in January 2002.
Yeah.
January 2. So it had to have been over officially like January 1st, 2002. Then in 2004 to 2004, they took tobacco.
Right. Yeah. You know, I remember in Corcoran, I used to get packages. Everyone thinks Corcoran's a real, messed up place, but Old Corcoran was actually ran pretty smooth because when they opened Old Corcoran in '87, they brought a lot of cops and administration from like Old Folsom, San Quentin and shit. So they ran it as an old school pen. They had good food but man, packages. I went over there when I first got there. I got like 400 colored pencils and a bunch of drawing tablets. That was my package, and because they didn't have a hobby program. The cop looks in there and he's like, "What the fuck's all this?" I go, "Hey, I'm an artist. I gotta have it." And he just went here.
Hey, in Solano, I remember when I first got there, myself, my neighbor, I heard this rumbling like some music sounded like somebody was next door with 218s in the trunk, right? So finally I get tired of shit. I tell my neighbor, "What the fuck do you got in that cell? You ain't got nothing that we could legally have in this motherfucker cell." So he said, "All right, one day I'm gonna bring you in." Man, he brought me in. This motherfucker had the whole studio speaker inside his cell. I was like, "Well, shit." He said, "You think that's something?" He said, "You think that's something?" He pulled out an X-Acto knife, a real X-Acto knife. He was like, "I'm part of the hobby shop." So in the hobby shop, hobby shop was getting some little benefits and things.
Yeah. Well, when you went to the pen, it was, pretty mild. Like I remember guys that would get big giant blanks of wood. Like this Mexican cat I knew, he had carving chisels and a mallet, and he would carve Aztec calendars in wood in his cell with carving chisels, Dudes in San Quentin would have like a little vise welded to their bunk. They have the maintenance guy come and weld it to their bunk, and they would be in there making stagecoaches, just all kinds of shit. They had saws, hammers, screwdrivers, everything. Guys would have little toolboxes in their cell. Legal. Yeah. It was cool, and they took all that away. All of it.
So when can you say that prison changed from how it was? Because there's stages. Because in my stage, I think my stage is elite. Like they didn't even have numbers when you first went. You had an A number. I mean, not A number.
No,
you had like a B
C number. I had a C number.
Yeah, from 79.
Yeah, January 79. I got a C125.
C. So
They started them in 78. They started C numbers. The end of 78.
78.
Yeah. Yep.
And then that lasted all the way up to nine. The D numbers came in the 90s, right?
No, they came like
89,
80,
88.
86, 85, 86. They started D numbers. And then the next one came like it just got
E.
shorter and shorter. I think it was the E number came like 2 years later, and we're like, man, look how fast they went through that number, you know. But
Yep. I came.
yeah,
I got a P number.
yeah. Now
And
they
that.
got double letters, and
Yeah.
you
I went.
know, it's crazy.
I went back, right? And when I went back, my points was dumbass were hella low, right? So I still went back to Old Folsom. It was crazy because I already had been in Old
Yeah,
Folsom like 4-5 years. So now they send me
yeah,
back, and I'm a level 2. This is the lowest level I ever been, and I'm still in Old Folsom. So I never really got to reap the benefits of being in a lower level like that.
yeah.
But
Well, you know,
what's the lowest
you
levels
kind of
that you got?
lucky. Oh, now lifers can go to secure level ones, but I went to level two. I was gonna say you're lucky because you had to sell living. You know, like I was in CMC West, man, and it was nasty. I mean, it was I hated it.
You
Like
ever been?
they had 10. It's old army barracks. You know that like it's been there since the 1800s. They got photographs of cavalry motherfuckers there. It was a fort, I guess. But it's
Damn.
all wooden barracks from World War II. They used to bring wounded soldiers back and rehab them there. So the National Guard owns CMC, the property. They lease it to the state. So there was trees, and they can't cut down the trees because it belongs to the National Guard. And hey, there's no bars, nothing on the windows. The front doors open 24/7. There were guys PC up at midnight. They just walked out the front door to the program office. It's like being a little park kind of thing, you know. But
Yeah.
hey, it's
Hey,
fucking noisy. It's noisy, disrespectful. You don't have your own TV. You got inspection. You got to go outside like every Tuesday. It's fucked up. And then you got I don't know.
I
Everybody's in
was
your business.
I
It's
was just
just
I was just about to say that sounds sweet. That sounds cool
not. It's not sweet.
until you said you don't got your own TV. I was
Well,
like,
I get there. That's what
yeah,
I thought. Hey, this place is cool, right? So my mentality, where I was raised, is like when it's on, it's on, and when it's not, just kick back and enjoy the time, right? So
yeah.
I'm thinking, hey, it's cool here. But now I got all these level 2 killers, all this
Oh man,
clicking. You can't do
level
this,
level
can't do
2
that.
killers.
I'm
Hey,
like, I was fucking mad the whole time I was there. Um, Guys trying to tell guys what to do. And, like I told my little homeboys, hey, this is us. We're from Dago. Fuck them dudes. Because they were using kids up, like doing 2-on-1 removals,
yeah,
which I thought was kind of a PC move. Go jump on somebody in front of the cop, right?
yeah.
So I told my little homeboys, hey, fuck that. We're from Dago. We do ours. Fuck them.
So you guys so you're part of the crew that actually established independence from the
I
bigger.
don't, I don't know. I'm just a dude. But I mean, I had little homeboys. I don't like seeing them get used up for stupid shit. And I'm like, we're homeboys. We're from San Diego. That's not to say I don't have, because I had other dudes I kick it with that aren't from my town, but I would tell them the same shit. Hey, man, fuck them assholes over there. I mean, you got to remember, all the prison gangs are in the shoe still.
Yeah,
These are just guys like some dope fiend that thinks he wants to run the yard. I'm like, hey, fuck that dude. You don't
yeah.
run this.
So hey, so am I allowed to ask you any West Washington questions? Because people want to know. They want to know because I got a question. I do. So I said on my video, right? I said if you're the type of wood that had that much rank and that much power, everybody would know who you was
Right.
because everything is damn near ran by drugs. So I said, so
Yeah.
if my homie was running shit and you was running shit, you're gonna have to have literally a one-on-one connection with that person because People don't be paying debts. People be disappearing.
Yeah.
People be threatening people. And so you have to have a one-on-one connection with that person if you're that high in the hierarchy. That was the only
Yeah.
point I was making.
Yeah, I wasn't running shit. I was just running me, you know, but I never heard of that dude ever. And, you know, I got homeboys down in Dago that are like, you know, they don't like that dude. I'll just leave it with that, you know. He's I heard he paroled from Mule Creek, S and Y Yard. I don't know if that's true, but he was in them private prisons, which are all like level 1, level 2 type places, you know.
Oh, he's talking about
McFarland or whatever that place is.
the private prison where they don't even have guns.
No, I mean, come on, man. I mean, they've had some bad incidents in some of them, but the places he was at when he was at them, there was no. Come on, man. That dude said he made every white dude in the building have a knife in their cell and all. If somebody would have came at me like that, I would have been like, yeah, fuck off.
Did you ever have to hoop your paperwork?
No. No. Hey, look, when I came to the pen, you didn't have to go around and show your paperwork. Because when you went through R&R, all your information was done by an inmate clerk, prisoner.
Yeah.
And so they knew what you were in prison for, how old you were, what town you're from, everything. So if some dude came in that was bad, word would be in the unit before he even got there. Hey, this dude's no good. He's a whatever, sex offender, whatever.
Yeah.
People knew. You know.
Hey, I'm just saying, you know, certain stuff I can't speak on. The only thing I can speak on is like, I know for sure that he lied about the Oklahoma thing. And that's when I decided to say something. That was it. He lied about how it started and all that. But other than that, I didn't have too much of a problem with him. With just when you falsifying yourself. Back then, this is back then. Now I wouldn't give a damn about Wes Watson or what he got going on. But back then,
I didn't even trip on him.
Yeah, back then I was passionate though because I consider myself one of the founders, one of the forefronts of this prison genre. Like I was there when there wasn't nobody. So I felt it was my duty to defend our honor. That's why I did that.
Yeah.
But then it just
like I've been in situations where there were riots and I wasn't in them. I've been in I was in Corcoran. There was a riot with another race. I was on the yard. I wasn't in it because it wasn't you know, our people getting with it. But it kind of discredits the guys who were in it and guys who had to live through it. And from what I'm hearing, that dude went to his cell and closed the door.
Damn.
So, you know, I mean, I remember there was a trip. I was in Corcoran, man, and it was raining. And it was just like this young hippie dude on the yard. And I'm walking the track and like all the Southsiders by the handball court, like 100 of them, you know. And all the blacks are over here, and this kid just like moseying around. And I go, hey, dude, get the fuck over here. He's like, what's up? I took him over to the chow house to just kick back, you know, and sure enough, they had a fucking riot. But, I mean, you don't hide from it, you know, but it's not cool shit. Riots like that are not fun. People glorify him. Dudes like him glorify him, and he wasn't even in it. You know what I mean? Guys that were in it, they don't glorify it because the shit ain't cool.
Man, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. You know, one of the biggest things I did, and I'm going to tell you exactly how it happened. So you went the 23-1 route. I went the Big Herc route. But we ended up same destination. I ended up going to 23-1 though. But what I'm fuck. What was the point I was about to make? Because I just was smoking and
We're talking about the riots and Wes Watson and all that shit.
Okay. So what happened is Big Herc told me, he said, man, you know how Big Herc talk. Hey man, you got any sick war stories of when you was in the pen?
Yeah.
You know, when you guys really got down, you know? I was like, hell yeah. You know, because I know I was on some gangster shit in there. So I was like, shit. Yeah, I got the one when I did the thing with the thing, right? He was like, yeah. Tell me that one, right? Remember, there's no prison genre at this time. It's just Big Herc doing what he do. There's no genre. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell you about the time I stabbed these people, multiple people in a riot. Next thing you know, that's the first thing he airs. He didn't even air the other interview part. He aired that first. I seen it, and I seen how I looked bragging about like how stab people and stuff, and I didn't like how
Yeah.
that felt. So I called Big Herc like, Herc, man, please take it down, man, take it down.
Yeah.
He was like, nope, I can't do it. Once it's out there, it's out there. I was like,
Yeah.
fuck, you're making me look like a monster. He was like,
He
well,
can delete it. He can
he,
delete his videos.
no, I'm talking about once it's out there, people can download it, and that's a wrap.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
So I was like, you're making me look like a monster. He said, but that's
yeah,
the thing. People need to see how it really is. Because I was thinking, like, I was like, I'm hollering at this how if I was on the yard, this is how I tell the homie, Big Herc, you the homie. So I'm telling you this how I'm telling you, homie, how the story went down. So
yeah,
I'm telling it with the funniest parts and all the shit. Next thing you know, he told me he couldn't take it down. I was like, well, fuck it. If this is what people have to hear, they have to hear. And at first,
yeah,
people was like optimistic about it. Like you telling the war story of shit on the yard. Next thing you know, look at the standard now. Like that's nothing to tell a war story on the yard now. But back then I was nervous as shit. And hey,
yeah,
look where we are now. But
yeah,
I don't like I know I put in my work. I was active the whole time from beginning to end. I know
yeah,
that. But when we talk about I'd rather talk about something that happened to me that somebody can learn from versus me talking
right.
about what I would do to somebody or what I did. I don't feel good about half the shit I did in prison.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when you're in prison, man, I mean, you're living in a place, you got guys at every level, man. You guys have mental illness that think they're gangsters. Like,
Yeah.
they live in some alternate reality inside their head where they think they're big, upstanding, honorable motherfuckers upholding some kind of code. You got dudes that are weak. You got everything in between.
Yeah.
Guys that just, me, I'm just a guy that, like, if the shit was on, I'm going to be there, whatever. It doesn't mean I like it. I'm not going to run from it. I'm sure you're the same way. It's like, it's a life or death situation in there sometimes.
That
And it's not cool. It's
those,
not fucking cool.
those
you
years
know?
that you got, man, people don't understand. Into the 90s and you came in the 70s.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of all the OGs. Every time I ran across an OG like that, my message was, man, teach me something. Like show me something
Yeah.
because this is my life for the next umpteen years or whatever years. Like teach me a lesson, something. Because you guys remember how it was and you guys held the keys to the past. And some of you guys, I know some of you guys were disgusted to see the way things changed and the work people put in, like damn near was in vain for some of the stupid stuff that goes on.
Well, like, I mean, I consider myself like not really OG guy because I learned from guys that were in there in the 60s and 70s. So, like if they were taking shit from us, guys would stand up. I mean, it ain't just work violence against each other inmates. There was that, but also like, one time I seen a Mexican dude pushing a cart out of the chow hall in San Quentin. He had a bunch of steak and rice and cheese. They used to cook burritos in their cells. Some guys would make steak sandwiches. Some guys would make bacon and egg breakfasts in their cell. That's their gig, So this dude, then the cop tells him, "Hey, where you going with that?" He goes, "None of your fucking business." And he's like, cops like, trying to stop him. He goes, "Hey, if you fuck with my shit, I'll kill you." I went, "Whoa." He told the cop that. Cop just backed up, let him go. It took work, man, to get prison a certain way. We had Levi's. I had 3 Pendletons, different colored clothing. All that shit's gone.
Hey,
dudes
Mitch.
work their ass off to get that shit, man.
Hey, Mitch, I just want to let you know. I want to let you know. I don't care if you was a square for 38 years. The key thing is that you survived. Like I'm not proud I did that in 20 years, but I'm proud that I survived. I'm proud that I survived it. I know it wasn't. I know it wasn't a walk in the park. I know I put it on the line and was up against it. So that's worth something. So if I sit here at 40, if I sit here when I turn, the old code was. I know the old code that we know. Like you ain't OG till you hit 40. So I just hit. I'm hit 40. I'm 41 now. So. So trust me, man. I know. You could have been a square. You could have worked in the kitchen the whole time. You survived 38 motherfucking years. Hell no, you OG Uncle Mitch. OG Uncle Mitch. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like Squares. I had a celly one time for about 2 months. He's a little guy, Christian guy, had family, whatever. There was some shit jumping off on the yard, and he goes, "Well, I'm a Christian, but I suppose I ought to go out there. I got to be there." I says, "Yeah, you got to go out there." Then we're on the yard, and he came up with my friend Rick, and he told him, "It's still a little dude, He told Rick, "What do I do?" Rick told him, "You just stand by me, So he was a fucking square, man, but he was there,
So were so actually, in a sense, you really was like an uncle inside too.
Maybe some of them guys, but as I got older, a lot of younger dudes would gravitate towards me in some places, Yeah. Even if they were in the mix, they would ask me, "Hey, what's up with this? What's up with that?" Because I quit getting loaded in '98 in prison.
Yeah.
And I still, I got, drug, crank, all that shit. I'm over it, dude. But some of them kids would still be in the mix, but they would still like, "Hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that?"
Yeah. So 98, that's when I came. I came 98. I hit Tracy 98. And so so you can kind of tell from the era that I started. I literally consider my era, the end of the 90s, the last of the generation I'm talking about the youngsters, because I was only 18, but the last of the generation that learned from the greats, or the real G's. That's what I consider my generation.
Yeah.
Like the stories from that era, from the 90s, the early 90s, the 80s, the 70s, they were still regular.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the newer prisons like Calipatra, High Desert, all them pins, Lancaster a little bit, Corcoran, they were in keeping with the way San Quentin and Folsom used to be, Tracy,
What were the original prisons?
For us, there were just 4, like Tracy, Soledad, Quentin, and Folsom, but they had, Chino's Reception, Vacaville. Then were kind of prisons too, then CMC, but in the camps, they had Susanville and Sierra, Jamestown. But I mean, prisons just, I don't know, man. It's just weird now.
Okay. Oh, I got a question.
Way out.
Do you remember the first time you got on a cell phone?
Yeah.
How did it feel?
I was like, man, this is almost like freedom of a little taste of freedom. You can talk as long as you want. Don't have to watch what you say. It was kind of cool.
Do you remember the first time you had an emotional conversation on a cell phone?
Not really. I didn't have a lot of those, but I just, I don't know. It was kind of emotional talking to my wife, just about shit. It was cool.
Because one thing I noticed is that people when they first get on the phone and stuff, start talking, they forget that they're in prison and they be talking hella loud. And you gotta be like, hey, keep quiet. But just because you're so into this conversation that you talking to somebody free on the streets and you ain't gotta worry about nothing. It's like you out there with them and you on the cell phone. So you just forget everything.
I used to use a earpiece,
Yeah, I couldn't use both of them. I was too paranoid for that. I had one.
I did that. I would do it at night. I'd act like I was watching TV,
Yeah.
The problem with using that cell phone is it made me want to get one, and then I figured out a route to send stuff into the prison. We did a little sample with a couple pouches of tobacco. And next thing like I wasn't selling cell phones, but I had one, and the guy I was working with had one. And, then I started smuggling tobacco and selling tobacco for stamps, sending stamps out. I had a big
I
fucking
remember that.
elaborate shit going on, and
Hey, you
you
remember
know,
paper? You remember paper wings?
paper what?
Paper wings.
No, I don't
When
know what
we
that is.
when we used to get the smut books and we had to send the stamps out. You had to send the stamps
Oh
out to
yeah,
the.
yeah,
I had about 6. Oh, that was another thing they took from us too. They
yeah. I
took
took
they
smut
took
books from you.
they took
Yeah,
first they took penetration smut books, and
yeah,
then they took then they made it to where they would scratch in the book at the penetration parts. Then they took
yeah,
smut books all together. That was another thing they took because
yeah. But
people.
they took like I used to get Easy Rider magazine. You can't even get that because they got naked chicks in there. Once can't get no magazines with any kind of nudity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear about they came back and tried to say that people couldn't read 48 Laws of Power too? They said
No,
they
I mean,
they tried to say that.
I
They tried to take martial arts. You remember that?
oh, they martial arts have always been a no-no in prison. Yeah, but they did try to limit all the like I saw 48 Laws of Power. I just breezed through it. To me, it was just like basic psychology.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
I mean it's a stepping stone. I'll say that.
yeah, yeah,
It's a basic stepping stone, but I can say this: if you ain't aware of the stuff in there, it's amazing to somebody that's not
yeah,
aware of that.
yeah. Hey, like getting busted. I got busted for selling tobacco after about a year. I mean, I got stupid. I got carried away. I mean, I got where I'll be walking around the cell block with my cell phone in my fucking pocket and just, I was loose. But when I got busted for selling tobacco, I sat in a hole for 5 months and I got sent to Soledad. And when I got to Soledad, I realized, these dudes I remember asking my counselor, how come I can't go back to North Block? And he started laughing. He goes, man, all them dudes told on you. They don't want you back out there. Then they pilferage through your shit when you're gone. And
Oh, I hate that. I hate that.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, I lost 1,500 books of stamps.
Damn. Hey,
Half of those went to the squad and the other half, whatever. But I remember sitting in Soledad when I got there. I said, you know what, man? Things aren't the same. None of these dudes, no matter how good you treat them, they don't give a fuck about you. They'll sell you out. I got ratted on because some lame couldn't get a cigarette, probably.
Yeah, that
So
sucks.
that was a turning point for me where I said, fuck prison. I'm going to focus on getting out. Dudes are starting to get out. And I thought, I knew I'm going to get a 5-year denial for the tobacco.
Damn.
And then, I just got to work it. So I did. So it was actually the best thing that ever happened to me.
Damn. I'm trying to think, man. What year did you get out?
2017.
2017.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anybody I knew that had that many years. Did you ever know Chip, the old Black Panther Chip?
No.
Used to be one of the big dudes. Used to be a real big dude. What about Big Earn?
I know a Big Earn. Is he tall?
Tall, yeah. I think
From LA?
Yeah, I think he OD'd though.
Ernesto?
Ernest, black dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to box.
Lifer.
Yeah.
Lifer.
Yeah.
He's out, bro. He's on my Facebook.
Is that right? He used to walk around. He used to walk around the track and go.
I know Big Earn. The one I know's out.
Yeah.
I think he's living in Lancaster somewhere.
Man, that's what's up. Hey, man. Well, I'm pretty sure we got a whole lot more we can talk about, man. This has been one of the best interviews I've had in a long time. Because I already know when I holler at, like, most of the people that interview people, they ain't really done a whole lot of time, so they don't really know what it's like. But for real, I know what it's like.
Yeah.
And I went through the changes right along with you. At least the ones when it started getting ugly. You remember some of the good days.
Yeah, you got changes like certain kinds of pins aren't allowed. I mean, they took the big shit, right? When you came in, they were finishing taking the big shit. And then when you came in, they started doing all the nitpicking. We're going to take this little thing and that little thing. And it just got worse and worse and worse.
because there was no weights when I came. There was no weights.
Yeah.
Only thing you could do is see where the weights used to be. That's all you can see,
Yeah.
and see the
Yeah.
bars in the place of them.
Yeah. The dip bars and shit. Yeah. You know
Yeah,
what? When I was in there, they put the boot on our neck, and when you came in, they started grinding their foot on our neck. You know?
yeah. Because man,
Yeah.
I'm just glad I'm glad, even though like I wish I was free, but I'm glad I got to see a little bit of how it was, because right now they got some things we couldn't have pictured having, like tablets and shit inside the cell.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
couldn't have pictured that back then. So it's a little give
Yeah.
and take, but back then, I'm glad that I was shit. I'm glad I know what it feel like to get a package sent from my mom.
Yeah. Yeah. That was good shit, man.
Yeah,
I'm glad I got to do my first, 10 or 15 years, a certain way, uh, before it got really bad. Because I don't know how, some of these guys are going in there, they're never going to get family visits ever.
yeah.
And they have a lot of time to do. It's kind of messed up. Well, now they brought the family visits back, but you had to have been married for 3 years prior to going to prison.
I
So if
know
you
that.
go to prison unmarried, you know,
Man, good luck with that.
yeah, I mean, yeah,
All
it
right.
makes for a violent person, really.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, check me out. Next time we go live, or next time we do this interview, we're gonna do it on your channel. I'm gonna show you how to do the same
All
format,
right.
because I know that you probably don't know this, but there's 35 people watching right now. It's 35 people
Cool.
checking out, and there's been hella comments on the side. But I'm just scared to show you how to
Yeah.
look at the comments, because you might click out.
Well, what we can do is maybe one of these Saturdays you can go live with me on our Saturday Night Live. You
Sounds
know?
good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Maybe one day you can come to the bakery. We on Pacific time, so we got to make it happen.
Yeah.
You might only be able to come in. You might only come in and hit a couple of your filmies on that pipe thing, but shit, it's still good vibes. We done had a little bit of
That's
everybody
right.
come through the bakery. Words getting
Cool.
out.
Cool.
It's a haven for stoners, man. Even if you smoking CBD, come up in there.
That's right.
But beware, we got jokes though. We got jokes. We
Hey,
got
jokes are cool. You can't laugh, man. What's happening? You know what I'm saying?
straight up, man. All right, Mitch.
It's nice talking to you.
For sure, man. I got a nice drive to Vegas, so I'm gonna drive through the night. So I got to get ready for
All right.
my preparation and
Cool.
things. All
Yeah,
right, man. I appreciate.
I rode my motorcycle to Vegas and Arizona, and I came back at night from Vegas straight to Placerville in one shot. So, yeah, it's a nice drive.
You're an animal. You're an animal.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, man. Stay in touch.
All right, drive safe.
All right, man.
Bye.
Bye. All right, so that was dope, and you know it. If it was dope and you know it, clap your hands. Yeah. All right, man. So let me get to my day. Let me get to my preparations. I figure I'll give y'all a gift before I hit the road, man. Watch that shit on the replay. Let everybody know, like let everybody know. Dirty Nation, we're expanding, man. We're expanding, and they see it. Shouts out to Mitch. Shouts out to Mitch. Heart intentions for being here. That's what's up. Anybody else that you feel like you might want to welcome on the platform as you get an idea what's going on in Dirty Nation, send them this way, because I got some people that would love to interview with you.
Cool.
All right, man. Appreciate y'all. Go.